Well, hello everyone. I am Sally
And I am Donna.
and we are from I Am Worth. Why I Am Worth? Because you are worth more. Today we're going to talk about courage and how important courage is in our daily lives. It's something that we need to actually have part of our identity, part of who we are, something that we activate all the time. What's the difference between courage and bravery? Because we use them as interchangeable terms when actually they're very, very different. We'll give some examples of courage and how we've utilized it in our life, as well as giving you some action steps so that you can embrace more courage in your life.
So let's first of all talk about the differences between courage and bravery. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, I always thought it was just a different way of saying that you're brave, but there is a vast difference. So let's talk about bravery first of all. So bravery is something where it's kind of like a one-off event. So let's just say if you are going to do a bungee jump. Okay, it would take quite a lot of bravery to make that initial step forward. Okay, and take that leap, or if you're jumping out of an airplane, or it might be that you have put yourself under a lot of pressure, something that you wouldn't normally do, that you didn't know beforehand you were going to do. You've acted really bravely. Whereas courage is something where you are turning up maybe day after day. It's a prolonged thing. It's something where you just turn up. You know that it's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to cause lots of maybe uncomfortable sensations in your body. You might feel sick, lightheaded, all of these different things, but you just do that thing anyway.
So, courage, why is it so important to have it as part of our daily experience? The reason is this: in order to grow, in order to evolve, and in order to expand, we need courage, because courage gives us the opportunity to move beyond our comfort zones, and every change that we want in life is beyond our comfort zone. Every goal that we have in our life is beyond our comfort zone. And as soon as we step out of that comfort zone that we're operating, we start to get fearful. We start to get nervous. We start to get imposter syndrome. I can't do that. Other people do that. All sorts of things start to happen to our internal dialogue. And courage is the switch in our system that goes, I'm going to do it anyway. From this day forward, my goals are of utmost importance to me, and I'm going to move towards them. I'm going to transcend the uncomfortableness. Courage is who I am, and I'm going to take that step to move forward.
Absolutely. And I can think of lots of examples, but one specific of like a little bit of a story of when I've shown courage is when I moved over to Australia from England. It's a good few years ago now, but obviously that wasn't just something that was decided overnight. And this is a big thing. I'd never thought about moving to Australia, visiting, should I say, Australia, let alone moving to Australia. But we were exceptionally lucky. My ex-husband got work over here, so we were able to have the opportunity to come over. But the actual thought of that scared me to death. Like I was like a swan at the top, and everyone going, "Oh, you're so brave," and everything else. Underneath, my legs were going like the clappers because I was like, "I don't know if I can do this. I don't know anybody. I didn't have a language issue to worry about." Although you may say different.
I think Australians don't speak English.
But it's still such a big step. I didn't really have any relatives that I knew closely anyway over here. So just day after day, I had to make big decisions. Like, what are we going to take over? What toys are the kids going to bring? What clothes can I bring? We've only got this certain amount of space for all of our stuff. I won't have any friends. I have no history in Australia. Like I won't have any work, and it was so scary. And taking that final step onto the plane with my three kids was just so huge. And I often look back and I go, oh my God, did I really do that? And I'm so pleased I did. I really am. But like just on a day-to-day basis, going through that, the process of that, making those big tough decisions that I never ever dreamt in a million years I'd have to make was in my eyes a real big show of courage. What about you, Sally?
That is a massive, massive, massive show of courage. I think to move across to the other side of the world and from England to Australia, there's probably not many further points on the globe to what those are. With a family with three young children is an incredible amount of courage for sure. I think I've had multiple moments of courage in my life, but one that really set the course of my life and the direction of where it is now is this is I used to be a press photographer. So when I started working, I thought that that would be my career for life. And I'd been doing it for 10 years and I had a very, very pivotal moment. And I was out on a job which was actually quite traumatic to be there and watch unfolding. And I knew in that moment that I couldn't do this anymore. I couldn't do this anymore. And this is a really good example of bravery versus courage is I had the moment of bravery of I'm not in alignment with this job anymore. There's more to life for me. I'm going to be brave and I am going to quit my job. So I made that decision on a highway in the middle of nowhere as the moment that I knew that's what I had to do. I had that moment of bravery and I went back to the office and I used that bravery to hand in my resignation. Now I had 6 weeks that I had to work before um, I finished my job as a press photographer. So I had lots of time to undo my resignation. I got asked multiple times, are you sure? Do you want to withdraw your resignation? So my courage was then every day saying, no, this is the right thing for me. No, this is the right thing for me. And it had huge courage because I had zero plan. It wasn't like I went, this is what I'm going to do when I leave. I had zero plan. I didn't have a job to go to. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I used that courage every day to go, there is something more for me and this is what I'm going to do. And I left the media and showed another lot of courage. And that was as soon as I left the media, it was a week after I left the media, I started writing. And I had met someone 6 months before who also started doing some writing as well. And we combined our skills and we started a new business. And that business, Raw Energies, has been going for the last 26 years. And I found my purpose in that moment of courage, of continually showing up every day. And the other part of that puzzle is the courage then of starting this business.
Oh, yes. Doing this very video.
Doing this video.
This is our first one. This just took a whole heap of courage.
So we decided to do courage on the first one because that's how we roll, right? So then starting this business. So having two businesses running to help people in a different way. So that would probably be my timeline of courage that I still to this day have to choose every single day.
Yeah, so look, and that's a couple of big examples. But courage is something that we can instill into our lives on a daily basis. We've talked a little bit about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that is a sign of courage. And that can be done by silly little things or a bit braver things. A silly little thing could be right in terms of getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is could be, well, let's brush our teeth with our opposite hand. And that sounds really simple, but let me tell you, if you're not ambidextrous, this one here is, but if you're not ambidextrous, you can get in a right mess and you can end up with toothpaste all over your face. And that's just a silly example. But, it could just be something like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and going to that gym class, or you've always wanted to go to that club. There might be a book club or something that you've wanted to go to and you haven't gone because none of your friends are interested. And finding the courage to go, to think about doing it, to take the steps to drive to that place or walk to that place and walk through those doors shows great courage. And then to go back and do it again, I think that's the big thing. A big one as well is going to the gym. A lot of people struggle with taking that first step into the gym because they're so very worried about what people are going to say. People are going to look at me, I'm too fat, I can't do that, I'm unfit. And yeah, they might make it the first time, and I guess that's a real good example of bravery because they're being so brave. Oh my god, I'm doing this finally. But the courage comes in when they decide to go back the next day, and then go back, and then go back. And slowly but surely, that uncomfortable state becomes comfortable, and it becomes your new normal.
So, what other little things can you do to show your courage every day? We all have conversations that we put off. Who's done that? I've done that. I've done that plenty of
All the
times.
time.
I think every person does, right? We don't want to upset anyone. It's too far out of our comfort zone. We know there's going to be a reaction to what we have to say. We put those things off. Conversations show great courage because it's talking in a way that you don't normally speak, you don't normally communicate. It's saying what you need to say. And often these conversations have a certain sense of vulnerability that we allow ourselves to go into. So having a conversation that makes us uncomfortable is a huge show of courage. And as you have those conversations time in, time out, day in, day out, you start to create a different life and you start to become more comfortable because we can't change what we don't acknowledge. In the words of Dr. Phil, we can't change what we don't acknowledge. So we need to have those conversations to get everything out on the table. So having conversations is a huge show of courage. So the next question is, what can you guys do to help you achieve courage?
Good question. Very good question. So just start with little things. Just start with little things. So just as I say, taking those steps and doing things that you wouldn't ordinarily do, but in alignment with what you want to achieve in life. And that's the most important thing. If you're with a group of friends and you always go to, one particular place for lunch or for coffee, and you really want to try somewhere else, have the courage to speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself. And it doesn't have to be the big major stuff. It can just be the little things. It can just be, do you know something? I'm going to have the courage to try different coffee today. It sounds silly, but just getting your body and your mind used to making those decisions, used to standing up for yourself, speaking up for yourself, and staying true to yourself will actually put you on the path to being a lot more courageous. I love that word, courageous.
Courageous. It's a great word, definitely. And just before we finish up, I want to give you a little body hack so that when you're having that moment of courage or you need to express that moment of courage, it starts in how you have your body. It starts in how you hold your body. You're not going to have a courageous moment, or it's going to be a lot more difficult for you if you're like this going, oh, a conversation, I need to have this conversation. This is going to be so hard. It's all right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you walk in with a posture like this. Like when you looked at me do that, when you looked at Donna did that, did you think, they're courageous? That's what they're doing. You didn't think that at all. You thought no confidence because that's what that body posture is. So before you go to have that courageous moment, take a deep breath right down into the pit of your belly. Stand up straight, put your shoulders back and hold yourself in strength. Hold yourself in courage and then make your move, because the way you hold your body, the way you feel that your body is, will bring courage into your system, and then your mind and your emotions will follow. So there are tips for you for courage. We hope that you have an amazing day. I am Worth. I am Sally.
And I am Donna.
And we hope you find your worth too. Have a great day, everyone.
See ya.